All right, what's up everybody? Jeremiah here, and we are back with another unboxing. This time we're taking a look at Last Sleep trunks. Now, the moment I saw this statue in the photos, I was super excited. I thought, man, I gotta have it. Then I saw the prototype. Looked really good, so I'm excited to see what this looks like in person. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, a quick disclaimer before we officially start. I will say and admit I've had this actually in the room boxed up for quite some time now. I actually got this a few months back and just been so busy with work. Finally getting a chance today to unbox it months later, and I'm sure by this time you guys have already seen the figure itself in other videos and reels. Hopefully this will help you guys. For those of you that are still planning to get this piece, I can maybe try my best to put a little bit of an assembly guide. And this is also definitely for me because if I do decide to box this up or move it elsewhere, I'll know exactly what to do with these pieces, because Last Sleep isn't really known for including instructions with their pieces. Hopefully it's not as bad as this Gogeta over here, but that's just to kind of set the tone for today. You guys have seen videos of this before. This will be my experience. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, let's get to the box. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the brown box. I mean, this is just your standard brown box, so I'm not sure if there's any really much to look at. But as we can see here, there is a number. This might be the edition number out of all the edition sizes. We'll find out how many they made. Then you've got your Last Sleep logo here on the side. Just some care instructions there. Same thing here. This is the S version, which I believe is the bigger version. I wanted to get as close to 1/4 as I could. And it looks like we got a little bit of a rip here. Hopefully that doesn't, oh, it looks like that kind of caught the box. I don't know. When it comes to the boxes and the art boxes, I'm okay as long as the statue is in one piece. But this is your standard brown box. Enough of that. Let's go ahead and put this open in 3, 2, 1. All right, check it out. Not bad. Okay, I really like this box. So first things first, you've got this nice, crazy big orange. I wonder why they went with this color. It's pretty bright. I like it. You've got nice, cool artwork here with a bit of like, I don't know what style of sort of sketching you'd call this, but it has a little bit of like almost like the raw sort of initial design maybe of the artist before they turned it into a statue, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of nice to see. Now on this side, you've got, what do we got here? You are our last soldier. Cool, nice quote. I actually can't remember if that's from the anime, but correct me if I'm wrong. If that is, definitely from the series. What do we got here? Same thing, you are our last soldier, and another part of the art on this side of the box. Also, this tells you the size. Hoping that this is somewhat close in stature to my other 1/4 statues. That's not 1/4, that's 1/6. That's 1/4. This one this was like the S plus, I think, so it's the bigger size, but it still came in a little smaller than my KD Vegeta, so we'll have to take a look and see if this somewhat lines up. So let's go ahead and unpack this thing. We'll start with the top. I'll start with one hand until, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna need both hands for this, so I'll take out the styro out and then make some cuts here, and we'll see what we have inside. Cool. Aha! Handle! This will make it easier. Maybe. Maybe. Oh shoot, what was that? Okay, looks like we got it. A little bit of a pushing and pulling, but hopefully you guys got to see that this is definitely doable with one person. It'll make it a lot easier, a lot faster with 2 people, but you just kind of have to massage your way out of this one, get that box or styrofoam out of the box, and just wiggle your way through the process. All right, so enough of that. Let's look at the styro. It looks like, I think this is the first time where I've seen, not only does it have sort of this Velcro tape, but it also has tape on the side, or maybe I've never noticed it before. I'm noticing it now. So I'm just gonna undo this, cut the tape, and we can finally take a look at the parts we have in store. Let's jump to it. All right, so Velcro's off. I went ahead and carefully cut all around here. Now, a disclaimer I should say is this may have been repacked because my retailer here in the Philippines, Great Kai Toys, did tell me that they opened it up just to make sure that all the parts were in place and no damages, so hoping that's still the case. But just as a disclaimer for you guys that are watching, that are getting this brand new, your packaging may not look like this. I'm sure they tried their best to tape it up as best possible. So that's just to let you know in case you're wondering, hey, why doesn't my package look like that? That's probably gonna be why. Anyway, so let's go ahead and lift up this top layer here and see. Ooh, the reveal is so cool. Oops, did I miss something? Oh no, okay, whoops, I should be careful. Let me go ahead and, okay, had to take off that part there. All right, so it looks like our top layer here has the sword, his sheath, and different parts of the ray. I'm really excited to see how this lights up. That's gonna be exciting to take a look at. In this pocket, looks like we've got a metal plate. There it is, 397 of these. I got number 42. Plus a, ooh, I love this. I will say that not all statues that have LED think of including a remote. A lot of them are push button switches, like some of the ones I have over here. The one I really appreciate about this Gogeta is it does have this sort of remote switch. I think more statue companies that have LEDs should do that. So I think that's a really cool plus. Shout out to Last Sleep. And it looks like, you know, you've got this here, which is a very interesting sort of sword. I think you have two options, so it's gonna be exciting to see, you know, how that plays out. You can either have what looks to be his classic sword and also this sort of like custom sword, which I think is actually gonna take up more space. So you probably wanna be careful with your measurements, and we'll take a look at that later. But the rest of this looks like extra stuff, looks like an acrylic holder. I'm gonna go ahead and say that is all we have for the first layer. Let's go ahead and take this off and see what's underneath. All right, and here we have layer 2, which looks like we've got more effects. I went ahead and set layer 1 to the side. And just so, you know, if you decide to repack this and you just want to make sure that it is aligned the exact same way you got it out of the box, I literally just lifted the top layer from here. So just make sure your remote side is down here or where the big sword is, and that lines up like this. You're basically gonna take that, put it back that way. I am doing that for myself, but just wanted to mention that in case you decide to repack. So we've got more of this sort of like flame aura, which I've seen before here in the Gogeta. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays a part. We've got more of the longer rays around here. Looks to be Trunks' belt. That's pretty cool. And I really like the way they package this. I don't think there's gonna be as many breaks. Hopefully there's not. I think this might be a leg of the ship. And what else do we got here? This is, ooh, this is interesting. What is this? Oh, hands and random parts. We'll see how that goes on the piece. Oh shoot, I lost track of the styro. Where'd I put it? Oh, was it this one? Okay. What else? I think that's basically it. So you've got this little accessory packet here, his belt, and more of his rays. So let's go ahead and take this layer off. I'm gonna assume all the base and all the good stuff is underneath. Okay, second layer off to the side, and wow, what a third layer we've got here. Check this out, guys. Wow. All right, so this looks like his base here. I think this is actually the end where he's gonna be, that actually goes on the, actually, I'm not sure. I think this is the end that goes on the ground or on the table. What else do we see here? Oh, yeah, it's probably upside down. I'm looking at it upside down. Control panel. Some more spare parts here on the side. Wow, that is a giant DC adapter. That might be the biggest one I've seen or had ever since I've started collecting. So, it'll be interesting to see how that lights up. We've got a little bit of smoke effect here. His two head choices, you get his Super Saiyan and the regular head version. Packed pretty well. I'm glad to see that hopefully so far no breakages. His bangs, check that out. And his body right there. Anything here? Nope. What else? His foot secured that way. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just gonna take a quick snapshot of this, just so I remember exactly where these parts go, just in case I decide to pack it up again. But that was your layer 3, layer 2, and finally layer 1. All right, let's get started. All right, this is heavy. Let's take a look at the underneath. Oh, it's heavy. Don't break. Any numbers? Nope. I'll take a look later. Okay. His face is there. That's all I noticed. I'll have to take a look at the video later. But this thing's quite hefty. Let's go ahead and set this on the table. Woo-hoo! All right. Here's a better look at the base. And this base is fantastic, guys. Just look at it. Look at all the details that are on here. Now, I don't know if you saw earlier, this does have these little sort of support. Can you see it underneath? Maybe if I go this way. There you go. So you can sort of see that that is where it's going to stand, which is actually pretty cool. It doesn't just sit flush on your stand here. So that'll let you know that you are setting it up the right way. But can I just take a moment to appreciate just how awesome and intricate the details are on this thing. And the crazy thing is, this part of the base probably isn't even seen once the figure's on top, but they went to great lengths to just look at the paint. Whew, look at the, you know, the battle damage that they have going on here, the metals, the scuffs. I'm just trying to get a good look at it now, because I'm sure once the figure's on there and all the lights are set up, it's gonna be harder to see. But the control panel, the warning signs, are these, I don't know, I don't think this is paint. It might be a sticker. It feels like it's paint, not sure. But it's impressive in person nonetheless. So, what else we got here? I'll probably look at the outside of the ship in more detail once it's all set up, since that's easy to see. But I did want to show the inner part of this destroyed ship. Very, very cool. So, there's the base, and I always want to try and take care of, you know, remembering where some of these extra styro sort of things go. But on my way, as I was pulling it out, it was hard to catch. So I have no idea actually where some of this stuff goes. But I don't plan on packing it up anytime soon. But just keep that in mind. Maybe you want to take notice of that. Now, with that all said, hopefully it's going to be easy to put this ship together. It feels like the pieces we got here are fairly straightforward. You got like a little bit of an explosion there. There's Trunks' body, and more of the rays. Obviously no instructions with Last Sleep when it comes to this stuff. So I went ahead and pulled up an image, and I'll just try my best to put this thing together. Maybe the best thing to do is to put a little montage together, where I always do with the other videos, and show us what it looks like when we start to attach these pieces onto that. And that's going to be especially important for the rays we've got here. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hey, when it come to you, pistol like buzz, issue with trust. Won't let no one get a piece of your love. Yeah, base it on loyalty, base it on us. I ain't the picture perfect type, but I'm making it up. You say you want a bad, flip it, I can't get enough. I'm rich alone, but when I'm with you, I'm bitter as forbidden fruit on apple juice, can I sip on the cup? Mix it with some 1942 and I'm hitting you up. Girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only.
Girl, you chosen. Sound is NDA, no, you can't bring no phones in. We walk in and they're like, what's all the commotion? No, we can't.
Okay, pause. I've got to figure out the next step. Okay, so as I was assembling the body, as you can tell, I already tried to make my way by attaching the body onto this piece. His foot peg over here on the left does not slot in just yet. You're gonna have to go to layer 2 and grab this ice shard, which looks like it definitely has the inset for the foot. So I'm assuming that this is gonna slide in here, hopefully seamlessly. And then this hole here should align ideally with that. I am assuming that that's where his foot peg's gonna go. I have no idea, but I tried it a little bit earlier. It wasn't that snug of a fit, so let's see if I can figure this out and hopefully not break anything in the process. But I believe it goes here. All right, update. Yes, it is a snug fit, and I will say that the difference is when I first tried to do this, it almost felt like you wanted to force your way and really, you know, force the peg in there. But what I will say is when you just align it properly, and it should ideally slide in seamlessly. So you don't want to force anything, you don't want to break it. Try and just get that peg to align with the inner peg inside or the inner hole, and then this will align. And then this will tell you that you've got it in the right spot. So I think with that said, we can probably go ahead and attach the body. All right, pause again. So as you guys are attaching this, you might find that this doesn't quite just go in. So I'm gonna figure this out, and hopefully it does slot in properly. But you might encounter some resistance here. Again, don't force it, just find a way to slot that in. Hopefully, I can give you an update with good news. Yep, good news. It did slot in quite well. Again, this is one of those issues where, not really an issue, but just want to make sure that as you're attaching it, really take your time and try to just align the peg to the hole, and it should go in there without any force whatsoever. And it does have a nice strong magnet. So with that said, I've got the body set up. Might as well go ahead and grab his head. This is the way it's packaged. You got a little bit of a styro to kind of protect the side of the face here. So in case you do want to pack this up again, you can do so like that. Very cool face sculpt. Now, I am going with the Super Saiyan one just because I like him as a Super Saiyan, but you have the extra head slot to go there if you need it. Let's go ahead and lock that in. Okay, head locked in, and he is looking awesome. Check that out. Love the expression. You're gonna want to make sure that as you attach it, massage it again. You know, I always use the word massage anyway. Just make sure that it aligns like this, and it should set in place. Now I'm hoping for the rest of this is not too hard. Looks like I've got part of a ship there, his accessory on his belt, which I think can wait. But we really have all these LEDs, or flame auras, or whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping that it's an easy fix. They look like pretty big pieces, so I don't think it's going to be as complicated as this guy Gogeta over here. But let's just hope for the best.
Hey, when it come to you, it's the light.
Okay, pause again. A side note here, as you attach this, it's not gonna just slide in as the base is. You're gonna have to lift this up a little bit, notch that in place, and then set the base back down, and then that should secure in place. Okay, back to the rest of the parts.
Hey, when it come to you, it's the light bars, issue with trust. Won't let no one get a piece of your love. Yeah, base it on loyalty, base it on us. I ain't the picture perfect type, but I'm making it.
Okay, another pause. I think I finally found out where the parts that are in here go. You've got like his hand, right? And I believe this is probably the hilt to the sword, and that's what's gonna hold it in place. So let's go ahead and attach that, and I might as well attach his other hand as well. Cool, all right, hilt is attached. I've got his other hand on there, and side note, I have no idea where this other stuff goes. Maybe it's spare parts, or maybe this is supposed to go to the other sword, which makes sense, but then where does this stuff go? I don't know what this is just yet. Maybe it goes to his sheath. Who knows? But I do know that at least this looks like it's somewhat set up. All right, so I wanted to continue the music montage and, you know, show you guys where the parts go. But as I am doing this, it is a bit tricky. As you can see, there's a lot of parts here that look the exact same. So I'm gonna have to just do this step by step and hopefully figure out where these shards go. And that'll hopefully help you if you are putting this together or packing it up. But I'm gonna start with one of the pieces over here in layer one. Let's see, I'm gonna try and aim to see if maybe just go from the outside in. So that's why I put the body in first. And if you can see here, there seems to be an outside piece. So, and like a little bit of a squiggly line there. I'm assuming that that squiggly line is that thing. And the other outside piece is that. So hopefully I'm in the right direction. And the more parts I can attach, the less I have to figure out. So let's try that. Oh, okay, so before we start with the auras, probably best to start with what's inside. That's gonna be his sheath and his strap. Let's go ahead and put that on the piece. All right, strap is on. This one's pretty straightforward. You're gonna wanna start with the peg on this part. It hooks in right here. Then this magnetized part of the strap goes on. Then obviously just strap it in here. There's another magnetized part. That's pretty cool. Like how they set that up. Okay, here we go. Let's get to the auras. All right, everybody, I'll be honest, I spent about a minute or two just trying to figure out which piece I wanted to start with, and then I realized, why not just load up YouTube and see what's on there? And so I went ahead and researched Last Sleep. We've got Nerdy Sphere, which is well known for their YouTube channel where they unbox a bunch of statues. And luckily, they do have a little bit of a short, very short assembly. So I think I'll try and start with these pieces. The only problem is it doesn't tell you where they come from in the package. So hopefully this kind of helps you understand that. But I'm thinking it's gonna start with this one first. I'm thinking it's that piece. So let's go ahead and pull this up. I already went ahead and got him out of his little plastic there. And if it looks like it aligns, I think this is gonna go in the front. Let's hope I'm on the right track. Right here. Yes, sir, that's it. Okay, one aura down, yeah. Next one. Okay, back to the video. All right, judging from the look of this, it looks like this one is gonna hook up to the front. And from what I can see, that's a big rectangular end. And if it's gonna hook all the way to the back, I imagine it's gonna be the biggest one here, which is this one. And if I can check, yes, it does seem to have that sort of rectangular peg shape to it. So let's go ahead and pull this out and see how that attaches. All right, everybody, update. I am actually just on the second piece right here. And on the video, it looks like it's super easy to put in. It is not. So I will say that what looks to be two pegs here, they're supposed to attach right here. And I believe this second peg right here, the shorter one, is probably what allows for the LEDs to kind of run through. So you want to make sure it aligns. And I'll be honest, on video, it just, they just show you like the end result. But I don't know, maybe it was seamless for them. For me, it was not. So I'm gonna have to spend some time trying to align this thing, and hopefully I can give you guys some good news. Okay, so here's my problem. The first peg seems to be okay, but as you can see, it doesn't really quite sit flush, which scares me a little bit. I don't think it's supposed to be this way. I think it's supposed to go all the way in, which means I'm probably not aligning the piece or that other peg properly, but luckily this thing is not too heavy, but you will, hopefully you don't have to do what I'm doing, but you may have to spend some time just putting this in. I'm actually a little worried because anytime you have something like this, where you know where it's supposed to go, but it's just taking you a while to do so, it makes me worried because eventually I'm gonna move this thing, and I just know that this is gonna be a problem part. So hopefully I figure out the secret and it's not too hard. Okay, update. I've been at this thing for maybe like 20-25 minutes now, and I quite gave up. Well, not really gave up, I took a break. So what I went ahead and did is a little bit of a spoiler here. I went ahead and connected the DC adapter because I know this part's supposed to light up. So I had it in place. I wasn't sure if it was in the right position, so I went ahead and plugged it in, and obviously I can tell now that if it's in the right position, it should light up. This part is, and this part is not. So maybe I'll try to put this on while the light's on, or maybe I'll take it off, but it obviously shows me that it does need to be a bit more snug, and I don't have the proper connection in. I hope that's it, and hopefully we can move on from this, but this is not easy, guys. Probably the hardest part, and I'm really worried now about how I'm gonna take this apart when I do move it. Maybe I'll try not to move this part, but yeah, it's a tough one. So let's hope for the best. Eureka, we did it. Oh man, I don't know why I used that word, but I felt it was fitting because we finally got it in. Definitely having this plugged in helped. Just a lot of back and forth, man, trying to get this in. The LED works, you just have to align it properly. You know that you didn't align it properly if the LED doesn't work. It needs to be a snug fit. And while I was doing this, I did have the light switch on. So as soon as it snuck in and as soon as it slotted in, it was obvious that I got it in the right position. So, mental note, when I move this thing, as much as possible, is not coming off because that was a pain. All right, let's get on to the rest of the auras. Whew. All right, so next in line in the video, we've got this outside aura, which I think is this one. And if I can see, let's go ahead and pull this out. Okay, so as we can see here, it looks to have this little sort of crevice there, which I think looks like it goes right on top of that. Let's fit that in. Okay, yep, intuition was right. It does look like it goes right here. Just be careful that as you put this in, especially if you have the sword set up, you're gonna wanna thread it through here. It does go through there. It looks like we've got another part here, but I haven't gotten to that yet. Let me get to the next part of the video, which looks to be this piece. This goes on the back of the ship. And let's see, what's the closest one? I went ahead and took this out of the plastic. It might be this one. Could it be this one? All right, let's take a look. Okay, that did the trick. So as you can see, it slots in right there. And the cool thing is, as I was putting this together, it actually automatically attached itself to the other piece. So there is a magnet part that goes here, which holds it in place, which is really, really cool in terms of engineering, really gives a lot more support. So that piece is set. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next it looks like we've got what looks to be a cross piece here. And so with the pieces we have left, I took a look and I'm assuming this piece right here, oh, it actually has letters on there. This might have been a lot easier if I looked hard enough, but in any case, here we are. Okay, so this end point right here, judging from that, I believe that's probably gonna go right there, okay? And if I'm gonna look at the cross section that he has going on here, I believe that's this part. And I think that goes to this piece right here on the outside. If you look here, it looks like, let's see if we can make it, yeah, it looks like that end matches that end. So let's see if this goes together. All right, there's the cross. Let's go ahead and set this in position. Okay, so the cross aura is connected and looks like we were headed in the right direction. I will say this as a bit of a warning. You definitely want to make sure that this is snug in place before you start pulling anywhere, because I thought I had it in place and I was trying to basically line up this part of it to this part that I had already attached. And then I heard like a bit of a, and I didn't crack anything, but you know, I think it's still okay. But to go ahead and double check, I went back to it and then I found out that it could be a bit snugger. Is that a word? Snug, more snug. And I was thinking that this was a magnet, but I don't think it is. I think it just kind of sets in place. The one thing you can do is once you attach this cross section here is actually attach this part. So this part of the aura, that's from your, oh, actually, I don't think that's part of the cross section. I must have just missed it. But yeah, once you attach that other aura, you can also put the magnet here and that should attach as well. So we are done with at least that section. Couple more auras to go. Yahoo! All right, so what do we got left? We got tiny aura over here, which judging from the video, I think is gonna go in the back end there. I think I spotted where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna go and take this out. All right, out of the plastic, let's go ahead and see if we can get a snug fit on here. Yep, okay, snug fit accomplished. It does look like it goes there. And I will say, what I like about this piece is actually these little sliders that they had on here that I showed earlier, because I was having a tough time moving the piece or trying to get this aura in, and I forget that it's in there, and it actually makes it super easy to turn this thing around. That's cool. Very functional. Love that part of the piece. Okay, a couple more auras to go. I think this should be pretty straightforward. I'm so excited. Let's do this. All right, so for this aura piece that is situated in this part of the tray or styro, right here. This one, it looks like he was setting this up right here. It's probably gonna go, there we go, we can see it, in that little slot right there, this end. And so this is actually a piece that doesn't connect to the ship. It will attach to the other auras. Again, you can find that right in that spot. But let's go ahead and put this in. Okay, pretty straightforward on that one. Just make sure that you thread it here through the inside, and always just be careful and be mindful that you don't want to scuff up trunks on the way in. But yeah, it should seamlessly go in there. So from that, let's go on to the red auras. All right, just for my personal documentation, this is how the auras are situated. Okay, so that if I ever need to repack this, I know exactly how to do this so that it doesn't get out of control. All right, let's go ahead and attach these guys. I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, so red aura 1 is out, and you know, on this really quick sort of reel video, it's a very short one, it doesn't quite show you how you want to do that, and I'll kind of see if I can break it down this way. So that aura 1 there, I keep hitting the styro, it's actually going to slot right here, and there's really no way around it, especially once you've got everything set up. You're going to want to basically take the piece and just kind of weave its way through. You want to make sure that this end is what's on this side, and then this sort of I don't know, there's no way to like really tell the difference, but they're just jaggedy ends. So I'm gonna say the shorter jaggedy end is here, so you make this little Z, right? And then it goes through here, it plugs right in there, which is pretty snug. Then it goes up and down, through in the inside, in between the blue auras here, up and around until it sets right there. No magnet here, I think, it just kind of sets. The only magnet really that you have is there, but hopefully that helps you figure out how you thread that red piece. All right, so Aura 2 is out, and this one is actually fairly simple just because once you don't really have too many slots to kind of use, and it's actually gonna go, let me see if I can go under here. Whoops. Okay. It's actually gonna go right here on this little rectangular slot on this part of the aura, and it does have a bit of an opening. So see this opening right here, where this, yeah, there's an opening right there. So it weaves, it almost encompasses this part of the aura, and that's how you hook it in. So just weave that through and you'll be fine. All right, dang, I thought I was done. I was like, okay, we got one aura left and we're good to go. It is not one aura, dudes. It is multiple pieces of aura. Oh man, plus this little one too. I don't know if you can see that right there. So, what time is it? I actually started this like way early in the morning. Couldn't sleep. So I started unboxing at 12:45. It is now 3:25 in the morning. That's almost 3 hours, dude. Oh my goodness. Probably would have been a lot faster if I knew what to do. Definitely going to be a lot faster the next time I assemble this if I need to move it. But the good news is, these auras, although they're a lot, well, not really a lot, but how many pieces is this? 4? 5? It's 5 pieces. The ends look fairly distinct. So I think all you're going to try and do is just find where they slot there in the big aura, and I think we'll be fine. So I don't think I need to do a breakdown for this. Just know that once all of that is set up, these are going to be waiting for you. All right, got those little pieces of aura on. Let me show you the breakdown a little bit here. First of all, it's super, once again, helpful to have this because it's just easy to slide back and forth, especially if you have a space like mine where, you know, it's set up against the wall. So don't be afraid to use this and turn it around because that helped me put this together. Obviously, the little piece is going to sit right here. It's really the only spot where it goes. So that one's actually pretty straightforward. Then you go to the other pieces. Now let me see if I can zoom in here. So right here, first of all, this extra super long piece, it feels like it goes here and it just kind of hangs out. It even has a weird curve. I don't know if it's just mine or the piece in general, but it has a weird curve like that because it's extra long. The other one slots in right here on the inside, and I have mine threaded out this way. I imagine you could probably be more free to choose where you want to, you know, thread it through. I have mine resting here because if I don't, it kind of drops like that. So I feel like it looks a lot better there. So that's 3 down. Where are the other ones? Okay, so another one here. This one's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty long piece, and mine is threaded that way. Again, as much as possible, having it rest on one of the other bigger aura pieces. Then we have this piece here, which is going to slot in right there. Originally, I had it going the other way and it didn't fit, and then I realized it has to run along this aura. So I have mine also resting on the big piece of aura. And I think the last one is right here. Now this one, I'm not quite sure. It doesn't sit quite, it doesn't like just magnetize. It might just be my piece, but it doesn't actually just sit flush, you know. I tried wiggling it. Let me see if I can do that again. Yeah. I think that's as far as it goes. And at this point, I'm super tired. So I'm just gonna have it rest on that aura piece. And it looks like that solves that problem. So I'm glad I'm done with that. Let's go ahead and turn this thing around and get started with our formal review. Okay, so got them all turned around. Before I jump in, I just wanted to show you guys where those extra parts that we had earlier actually go. So I found out that those two pieces that I talked about earlier, they are actually what seem to be the lever, okay, to his ship. So I played around with it. I think this one definitely goes there, and then the broken one goes on the left side. So that's pretty cool. Love the extra detail. They didn't have to do that, but man, I love all the extra attention that really just goes into this concept piece. So with that said, you've got those two extra pieces. It does come with an extra head. So this is what Trunks' base form looks like. Really nice sculpt. I love the way the hair kind of flows, and just even look at the shading that they have on his hair here. You definitely have a little bit of a lighter purple up top with a deeper purple as it goes down, which really gives it that extra depth to the color, right? And even his skin tone's really nice. Nicely painted there. Now, it does come with this dragon bust, which is very cool. I think it's something that, you know, Last Sleep is trying to do with their other pieces. I have here my Last Sleep ones for Gogeta. And I even think that this, if I look at and compare, yeah, this dragon bust is also a lot bigger than the other one. So he sits up just like that. So if you're the type of collector that likes to display their extra pieces, head pieces, or you want them available for switching out easily, you have that option here. For me, I'm gonna go with the Super Saiyan just because I love the Rage portrait, and I'm probably gonna box this one up. The other option that you have with accessories is the sword. So you've got this sort of like extra long piece of a sword with some extra aura effects to it, and this is your base sword. So it does come with the extra hilt. Each one has its own hilt, which is great. I would say that if I were to line it up, he does come in a bit shorter in terms of space. So if you're a bit limited on space, or you just like the look of the base sword, you can do that. And this is actually pretty light. It's not super heavy, which is I think a plus, especially when it comes to longevity, right, of the piece. Wow, I like the shading and the way it gives you that metallic shine. So that's very interesting. So if you want a part of your piece to really just stand out, give some contrast, and you want it to maybe stand out from all the aura, because obviously if you use this, it does kind of blend in a little bit. This extra sword is your option. I, for myself, I'm gonna pack this one away, and I'm just gonna go with this nice looking aura piece of a sword. I know it's a lot, and it does take up more space, but I think overall it does add a lot to this piece itself. The other thing that you probably want to consider is these aura effects up top, whether you want to display it or not, because it does add a couple inches to the piece. We'll go into more detail with that later, but just wanted to give you a heads up on the extra pieces. So with that said, I think we can go ahead and get started. Oh, okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is it does come with this metallic plate. So we've got Trunks here, number 42 of 397, just a plain back. And what's really interesting is it looks like it doesn't really have Trunks on here. It has, it looks like Gogeta. And then up top, at first I was doubting it, but then I noticed that it's definitely other anime characters. So you got Luffy there that looks like Ichigo from Bleach, which is really interesting. So keep that in mind, that the metal plate is gonna represent other animes that perhaps Last Sleep is interested in doing. So, you know, if that's a big deal to you in terms of how you want to display your piece and you want to keep it series accurate, you may opt to not display it. Otherwise, it does give you a good look at the number set of the edition. For me, generally, I like to keep my displays a bit clean, so I wasn't going to display the metal plate anyway, but that is a good look at it. It's really nicely detailed. The sculpt, the artwork is very, very cool. So that is the metal plate it comes with, and it does come packed like right here when you get it for the first time. So with that said, let's go back and do a formal review. All right, everybody, we are all set up, and it is now actually a few days later because I wasn't about to do a review of this thing at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Again, this does take some time, but just from the look of it, after setting it all up, it is totally worth it. So just, oh, I can't wait. Let's go ahead and check out the details. Woo-wee! Man, this piece is a showstopper. Just check it out. Oh man, you know, even if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, I think this definitely delivers in terms of first impressions. The fact that he's sitting on his broken ship, you've got his slash aura just going all around, got a little bit of a lightning aura, I think that's what it represents, right, up top, and it is just incredible. Look, even just look at the rocket effects that they've, you know, gone into here. And it was super interesting how they engineered it in such a way that you could get this sort of like rocket blast off effect while still making sure that it is an effective and stable base. So I really like that. Obviously we want to jump right in. So let's go ahead and actually just check out the base first and foremost. Now you got a peek earlier about what the inside of that base looks like. Let's take this time to really look out the outside. So right here we've got, oh man, look at this. Just with this piece alone, right? Just a part of his ship with all the sort of details in the scuff. Can we go in a little bit closer? Yeah, there you go. So you've got different shades of the ship right here, dark to light. You've got what looks like rust, battle damage, right? Slash marks right across it. Just the amount of time you can say was spent doing this thing is amazing. Look at that. So you got the Capsule Corp logo here. It would have been really easy to just make this a super clean effect, but they even went to the length of giving it that weathered sort of look. So that's just one part of the piece, right? It really goes through the whole entire ship just like that. I even like the way they transition from the sort of destroyed part to the not so destroyed part. You can see that right here where his foot is just sort of set in place. And even here, you've got different shades of just gray and dark gray to give you more shadow, more texture, and a different look to the piece, right? And wow, man. Again, it goes all the way around. This part of his ship here has like this futuristic sort of design to it, but it definitely looks like it's been through a lot in terms of damage and just use, right? Now the bottom of the base is going to be interesting to look at because if you've seen the previews of this, you know that this lights up, and it's not an obvious sort of like transparency where the light just kind of goes through. So I'll be interested to see how that looks, but let's just take a look at how this itself, even without any LEDs on, right, has just, you've got this orange, sort of orange and faded yellow to the blast off area here, and it continues on to this sort of smoke that just spreads throughout the entire base, and it continues from this side all the way back. Let me see if I can even turn this a little bit this way. So this is the plus, is you're able to turn the piece without so much of a struggle. Oops, that was the chair moving, don't worry about that. So it continues here in the back. Again, just look at all the, I'm just tired of saying the word details because there's so much. Look at this right here. I don't know if that's supposed to be bullet holes or what, or just the indentations that they have here is incredible. Ooh, even this gearbox right here where it looks like to be part of the ship that's exposed is really well done. You've got more rust sort of an effect here. All right, and again, that's just all one part of the leg. Now on the back, you've got this explosion effect that, I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a spider creature because of the way sort of the legs, or like the part of it kind of pulls out that way. But again, this is actually an explosion effect that looks a lot better when it's lit up. But it's got this sort of dark effect to it, which again, it's really interesting to see how this is gonna light up, because you would think that usually you might go with something safer, like something transparent like they have with their Gogeta here, right? But here they went with something more, almost like a solid finish that you wouldn't think that the light could penetrate through, but it will later. So let's go ahead and see that once we go through the LED setup. Okay, so now let's take a look at the aura that they have going all around. So you've got this sort of like nice light sort of sky blue, which even with itself as it is, it has this sort of different shades of blue, right? It goes almost from like that sky blue to white in the areas to just give it, more depth of color. And again, this is something I super appreciate because obviously we know this is gonna light up, but even without any lights on, it's super interesting to see how they added more variety in terms of shades of color, right? You've got the lightning effect here, which I will say looks very similar in terms of like its makeup of the way it's structured. You've got orange and yellow transparent shades to it, which is very, very similar to the Gogeta one that they had in that release, which I will say the Gogeta shards here look actually a bit darker than this. This is a bit lighter in terms of the way they executed that one. Now on his foot here, you're gonna find this really cool aura effect, which is a very different sort of shade. I don't know if you can see it on my camera, but it's almost like a crystallized look, almost as if it's like frozen. I don't know if that's the effect that they were going for, but it does have this nice sort of like impact crater effect on this part of the piece. And then again, it's a very different shade from what you're gonna find in his slashing aura here. So this, if you just look in, I wouldn't say that it's the same as the Gogeta one over there. That one I think has a bit more transparency to it. This one is a bit more solid, like you're not gonna see my hand through it, but the way it sort of glitters and shines, just, it's amazing. Really looks like it's like it gives you an ice effect, right? Now, jumping from this part of the aura, we go to his sword because it's literally right next to each other. And you can see that they go with sort of a similar effect here, but a darker shade. So it's supposed to sort of be in motion maybe, but it just looks like it's also frozen as well. It has a different color to it, and it does extend. So I would say that, as I mentioned earlier, keep this in mind if you're concerned about space, but it does have this super nice, just even look at the tips, right? How it goes from here, and now this is definitely transparent up top, right? Very different from the base here. This is transparent up here, and it goes from solid to this transparent tip, which I thought was a nice touch to the sword itself, right? So that's pretty much all the aura pieces. I mean, you do have these little ones here, which are a bit of a lighter shade, and I think if you set it up in such a way, the way I have it set up here, it does kind of give you this nice sort of like globe look. And I thought it was a nice touch because then you don't just have like these big aura effects, you have like these little extra details when it comes to the thinner auras. But I will say that if you're moving this around, like just turning it, even just now when I was trying to turn this piece in place, some of this aura here does not seamlessly just kind of lock in place. It will fall out, but again, you can always just kind of set it back up. So once you've got these thinner auras in place, I would suggest that you probably keep the statue where it is, just so that it doesn't fall out. Now, before we jump into Trunks himself, let's check out in more detail the inner part of the ship. Wow, look at that. Let me zoom in a little bit because it's hard to get the camera in there. But you're gonna see the warning label, basically everything that you're gonna see on his screen there. I don't know what this represents, but it's just super cool. Right, you've got the broken lever on the left side, and then the intact lever on the right. Man, there's so much to say. Just even alone with this piece. I mean, look at the grills here. You've got so many different shades. Look at that brown sort of like rust effect that they included, where it could have just been one flat sort of a paint job on it, just to add the little rust effect. I think is extra work, but super worth it. Even the levers have their own shading, from dark gray to a bit of a more rustic gray as well. There's a lot going on just with this panel right here, and I'm super impressed with the way they did that. Up top here, you're gonna see the transition from, let me see if I can get the camera in there, from the part of the ship that is the panel to the outer part of the ship here. And even this transition right here, look at that, right? How you've got parts of the ship. It's very realistic in a sense where you're gonna see part of the ship's color here, but at the same time, because of the blast that the ship took, only part of it remains, and it transitions really well into the destroyed part of the ship. If we come around the back here, you're gonna see more of that just here, even with the design that they have going on in the back. The wingtips of the ship are really nicely done. You've got, again, more of that rust effect on this part of the ship, and then plus the way that they transition to the broken parts of the ship. Still very consistent in that regard when it comes to the paint job and just the detail. So much to be said here, right? You know, here even on his leg part of the ship is just very consistent. I'd be interested to see how they really made all these pieces so consistent in terms of the way they put it together, but just with this piece alone, I'm very, very impressed. And even the under part of the piece, like right here, you've got Trunks already. He's probably the highlight of the piece. And instead they went ahead and, you know, gave you more of this scrap metal, just, you know, busting at the seams here at the bottom. It's so cool, man. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out Trunks. So first, let's start with the shoes. There's a lot to be said about the shoes. The shading, the brown to yellow effect that they have going on here, the scuff marks that they have on the shoe that are also painted on so that you can sort of see, not just painted, obviously there's a sculpt there, but the way they highlight it. It would have been easier to just kind of give you the scuff mark and then paint over it, but the fact that they added this sort of dark color to it so you could see it more is great. You're gonna see that just in his boot alone, and that continues on this side as well, right? So very well done in terms of paint. Now, as you get to his pants here, it might be hard to tell from the camera, but there's definitely more than one shade of gray going on here. You've got this like sort of lighter gray, and then it goes into sort of this like darker, almost like a steel gray effect, which I just think adds more dimension to the paint itself, which I actually think they do quite well. They've done it as well here on their Gogeta. Obviously, it would have been easier to just make this Gogeta's pants just plain white, but they added more. I do think that the shading matches more here, because here it feels like there's a lot. They probably could have stuck with white more, but here I think it makes a lot of sense the way they really did the transition paint on his pants. Then you get to his belt, you know, and even here, oh, look at that. The belt itself, even the blue, has slight imperfections in terms of the way it's you know, presented. I'm not gonna say the way it's painted, because I definitely think it was what they meant to do, but you got like that sort of black, almost like it's been a belt that's just super dirty, not cleaned, because he is in the middle of a fight here, and it goes all the way around. That's super well done. Then you get to his shirt. Again, different shades of gray here, and I would say that although it looks similar, this color of gray is slightly different from his bottom half. So I like how they kind of went through the effort of establishing, you know, something that wasn't just the same color as his bottom half. So that's great. Even the way that this is, look at this. This is, I don't know if enough can be said, but it's hard to capture this sort of like in motion of like your shirt and the way it wrinkles up, even just in a drawing. And to think that they do that in a sculpt, you know, is crazy. So I love that. Now that we've got this in frame, we can even check out his jacket here. Just the way that it comes off like light denim, or not light denim, but denim, right? Even scuff marks on the belt here. More of that sort of like weathered and dirty sort of belt. The buckle itself has that weathered effect as well. And then you get to the jacket. And even the jacket, now here you can totally see there are several shades going on here. You've got his dark blue, some whites, some grays, and some blacks, right? To just give it more of a used and realistic look. You know, it'd been easy to just maybe give him like actual cloth, but I love it when it's really sculpted on there. It's just more work, more details. Even the pin here, let me check that out, right? Right here on his this cuff link here on his wrist. Amazing. Now you get to his hand, and I will say the skin tone is very nice. I would say it's probably the same as the Gogeta there. When you look at his hand here, I don't know if you can see, look at the striations right there. Wow, on his hand, just to show that he's really in a tense sort of pose. Scuff marks on his hand as well. Just amazing. Look, even his thumb, yeah, has like just stress marks, or I don't know. I wouldn't say that's a fingerprint, but it definitely looks like they went the extra length to add more, just even to his hand posture there. Now, we get to the cool part, which is his face. Perfect in terms of you know, just his expression. Now, some may prefer a more anime accurate. I'm gonna say that for a stylized version of Trunks, this is pretty good. I don't know the details of how his face is actually supposed to look, but to me, it's definitely when you look. What's important to me is when you look at it, you recognize Trunks, and definitely that's what you get here. Now, his hair, I will say, is interesting in terms of how they approach it, because I've got a couple Super Saiyan pieces. So here is my KD Majin Vegeta head bust, and you're gonna see that it's got a more deeper yellow to it, and pretty much just yellow and white tips, right? And you're gonna find that here on their other Vegeta, and there's my KD SS3 Goku. Here they added more dark blacks to it, a bit more of a darker gray, which I think is actually prevalent. Well, actually, I don't know if they added that here. I think here they kept it all blue, right? All shades of blue. But here they added a bit more dark to it. Maybe it could also be that when you light this up, it's, you know, it helps the hair stick out a bit more. But I thought that was an interesting choice. So just know that that is there when you take a look at his hairpiece. Now, on the back, we've got his sheath. Now, his sheath, even that, look at that. Wow. All right, so the top of the sheath here has all this sort of like scuff, even the insides. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get a good shot of it, but there, right? And then the straps on the belt, very well done. The orange on the sheath has, again, different shades. So you're not just looking at a flat orange here. It really goes from a bit darker up top here to a bit lighter as you go through. And then you get to the end tip of his sheath, and even that has some weathering to it. So I really like the way that's done. Oh, while we have this on screen, look at his logo patch. This is really well done. Look at that. It's super clean. I have no idea how they painted it this well. I don't know if that's hand painted or not, but if it is, it's incredible. The print is super clean, and it's a bit raised too, so it's not flat. Like, this is definitely sculpted. There are layers, right, to this sort of patch that he has on his jacket, which I think is really well done. And finally, his face, just, whoo, the expression, the eyes, looks like there's a bit of a tone switch as well in terms of the paint. It's not just a flat sort of like skin tone color. It does change as it goes from his neck to his face, his ears, scuff marks all around, because again, he is in the middle of battle. And I do think that the added texture or shading that they did on the expression, especially above the eyebrows here, right, is really well done, and just adds more to the piece. Even the inside of his mouth. Let me see if I can get in here without damaging the piece. Cool, look at that. All right, can you get that in focus? There, yeah? Very well done. And that's a really small gap, but it's a nice clean white teeth. He's been brushing his teeth, right? Tongue's out, everything. It's great. Just so much to be said. Again, even look at the buttons here. I forgot about this. The buttons on his jacket, very cool. Got his pocket there. It's so good. So again, there is a lot to be said of this piece. It's amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed that sort of like in-depth review. All right, so let's go ahead and talk pricing. So what was the damage on this piece? This piece I got from Great Kai Toys, and I was lucky enough to get on the pre-order price. Obviously, I think if you get it SRP, it's gonna be a bit higher than that. So I got this for 46,500 Philippine pesos, which if you were to translate to USD, that puts you at around roughly 800 USD, $800, right? Which is incredible to think about when you just imagine the amount that you get for the price. And for context, this Gogeta here, I got this for 59,000, I believe it was, Philippine pesos, which roughly translate at today's rate at 1,000 USD. So what's crazy is this is what, $1,000 statue, this one, $800, right? And you look at it and it's incredible because they're both amazing. I have to assume that probably this piece, maybe the higher cost on this is probably coming from the aura. Maybe it's more expensive to produce, I don't know. Because you definitely have more heavier and transparent aura there as you do here. But in terms of just the way this is constructed, you know, it's amazing in its own right. So I got this from Great Kai Toys. Again, a big shout out to Great Kai Toys. They're my retailer here in the Philippines when it comes to getting statues. And the price that I gave you guys, that's definitely the all-in price. It is the price that I pay just to have the statue already here at my house. Luckily, they're not too far from me, so I just go ahead and pick it up. I don't really have to spend anything on shipping. So that's basically all in, getting this statue here to the Philippines and just unboxing it. So really good price. And if you are in the Philippines, you guys are looking for a statue retailer, Great Kai Toys has the best selection, and I even will say the prices out in the market when it comes to getting statues. So just give them a browse. A shout out to Great Kai Toys. Thank you guys so much for always supporting and, you know, hooking me up with these awesome looking statues. All right, so let's go ahead and talk dimensions. I've gone ahead and have my tape measure set up here to kind of give you the entire look of the piece. So if you're gonna have him set up with all the extra aura, I'm gonna say that from the tip of this aura, which I try to line up as best possible here, to the other side, which is probably gonna be the end of this aura right here, you're looking at about 34 inches. So if you have enough clearance for 34 on the width side, I think that is gonna be enough space to just hold him in that position. Now, if you ditch the aura, let's say we take it from the sword here. I'm gonna go ahead and slide that over. And let's see what we got. So if I take it from this part of the piece to here, back to the edge of that aura, we're now looking at maybe around 27 give or take. So maybe go with 28 or 29 in terms of like allowance, right, for that space. And again, that's with that extra sword here. If you don't opt for that extra sword and you don't have the aura, then you can measure it from the foot of this part right here. That's his, that's sort of that base aura effect here that comes from his impact on the shoe. If I line that up, okay, we're looking at, again, to the edge of this aura, maybe more so around 25. So you save yourself a couple inches. I'd say 26 or 27 if you want some allowance. But that's basically just on the width side. Let's take a look at the height. All right, so I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. It's a little tough here, but if we take it from this top aura here, you're looking at about, from the bottom to the top, you're looking at around 30 to maybe 30 and a half inches. Maybe go with 31 if you want some extra clearance, but that's the top of that aura. If you don't include this sort of lightning aura effect, then you're probably gonna go with the top of this aura right here that I'm pointing at, and that seems to fall just under 27 inches. Maybe go with 27 and a half or 28 if you want the extra allowance. So that's what it's gonna come to on the height side. Okay, and now for the depth of the piece, I'm gonna say that this little stand that I have him on is right at 60 centimeters or maybe closer to 24 inches or 2 feet. And I'm gonna say that it's a tie at the edge of his piece, right? From like his hand and like the edge of this smoke here. So if you measure it from that end to the back, which seems to be, I think it's also tied between this or this extra piece, which is also flexible, so it may not even really matter that much, but this is really like your marker. It seems to fit pretty well in the 60 centimeter space. So I'm gonna make an acrylic, just like I did for Gogeta there. I'm gonna have him around 23 to 24 inches is what I'm gonna work with for the case, and I think that should be enough to cover. So that's really what you're looking at in terms of depth for the piece, and I hope that helps you make a decision when it comes to where you want to place him in your collection. Okay, so measurements out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into my favorite part, and the part of this piece that I am dying to see is the LED effect. So no further ado, let's go in and check it out. All right, so to the LEDs, it comes with this incredibly big adapter. It's actually the first time that I am seeing an adapter of this size. Typically, I get adapters like this, for the light up effect, or maybe just like a sort of USB cable. So here on Timoon Broly, he has that. I think on Gogeta here, it's really just like an end cable, and that's really gonna be enough. It's really the first time that it comes with this sort of brick. Let's take a look at the wattage here. Okay, so actually, honestly, I don't know how to measure this, but there you go. For anybody that's really into electronics and you know how much power output this is putting out or what it needs to get lit, this is that. So it comes with that, and then it hooks around right here, plugs in. There is a switch here, which I believe is going to turn it on and off, but I want to make my first impression of this piece with the remote. So I have him hooked up. Oh, I'm excited. All right, so take the lights off here. All right, get that remote, turn on the button. Woo! Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Oh my goodness, wow. You don't even need extra lighting. It's enough to just show you every inch and just the entire effect that it has. Oh, look at that. The base has that light up effect. This is what I was talking about earlier. I was wondering, how are they going to light this up? It doesn't look transparent, all right, with the lights off, but it is. And it's so concentrated, like right here. So that gives you that super cool lit effect of the ship just blasting off. Then you've got this, oh my goodness, look at that. See, this doesn't look that impressive just with the lights on and no LEDs inside, but now you've got this sort of incredible explosion effect, right? Just with the lights. And this is the thing that I really like about this piece, is the fact that the aura and the LEDs just goes all around him. And typically sometimes with a lot of pieces, it kind of struggles to light the character, whereas here he's encompassed by it. So it's just the entire set is lit up just like this. Very, very cool. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because it is incredible to see how this just all plays out in terms of the entire effect of the piece. Now, I did mention that there is a button here, so let's go ahead and press that button, see if that is what triggers the effect as well. This is a small button right here. And yes, that definitely cuts it off, and if I press it again, it does cut it on. So you have two options here. I am going to personally go with the remote just because I like the convenience of it. Wow, that is amazing. Definitely worth picking it up just for the LED effects. And even if you put like other pieces here on the side, if you had like the room and you didn't want to spend on more LEDs, you could probably light them up as well, just from the LED effects that's going on with the slash rays that he has around him. So hats off to Lastly. This thing lit up is amazing. Nice one. All right, so final thoughts on this piece. What do I think of it? Is it worth it? Where does it rank in my collection? I will say this. Number one, it is a timeline stopper, meaning, you see this on your feed or you have people over, they're gonna jump and just be drawn to it, even if they're not a Dragon Ball fan, just because of the way the piece is structured. Is it worth it? For the price, most definitely. I think one of the advantages with Last Sleep is, you've got a lot of these, for example, international studios, statue studios, right? That do a lot of their commissioning and a lot of their designs off-site outside of China. So obviously, you're gonna pay a premium because, they have to have margin enough for them to make some money and continue their statue business. I believe with Last Sleep, it's set up a bit differently because it's coming straight from China. So you kind of save on those extra costs, and they still can produce incredible output like this. So definitely for the price, I mean, this is worth it for sure. Now, if you're a Trunks fan, that all depends. I love Trunks, he's actually my favorite character. And so if I were to rank him in my collection so far, and I don't have a big collection, but I will say, he's number one. Oh man, sorry to say, this is my number one piece that I have so far in my collection. I do have other incredible pieces, but I just think it's the fact that it's Trunks, so there's a little bit of bias there. I love him so much. He was just I just remember him coming down from that ship from the future and just slashing up Frieza in such a cool way. Definitely one of my favorite characters. And so there's a little bit of bias in the fact that he's number one. But, you can't really go wrong. He's going to be in your top 3, your top 5, your top 10. Hopefully not outside of your top 10 if you're a Dragon Ball Z statue collector, because this thing, I have to say, is amazing. So definitely worth the pickup if you guys are interested in DBZ resin statue pieces. I think for me, I'm gonna be hard pressed to find another Trunks statue, at least with this sort of, the future Trunks outfit and all of that, that is gonna convince me to go get one, just because this one, just even with the LED effects, man, is ticking off every box on what I want in a statue piece, especially for Trunks. And it does give you that, again, for some of you collectors that appreciate more of like the anime scene, sort of like throwback nostalgia. I mean, I totally get that. And there are a lot of pieces out there that depict more scene accurate parts of the anime. This is a concept piece, and to me, it feels like concept art come alive. And so I definitely like that approach to that. I think there's a place for both. For me, this solves that. So if you guys are into that type of concept or presentation, definitely worth adding to the collection. And with all that said, I think that about wraps up the video. Just wanted to thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know it's a bit of a longer sort of unboxing, but again, it was worth it. It does take some time, and I did want to structure this unboxing in such a way that it was more of like an assembly video, especially for some of you who may be picking this statue up secondhand, or some of you guys that are still have it on order and it's gonna arrive, or some of you that are maybe gonna pack it away. Hopefully the video kind of helps break down some of those effects, and hopefully makes your setup time much faster than it was for me. Again, I will say, regardless of the setup time, it is amazing and worth it to spend the time. But I would just say, set aside some time to put this together if you're gonna do it. But thank you guys once again for checking out the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, we're gonna jump into a little bit of close-ups on the statue and give you another look at it to some nice music. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully soon. Peace!
Put you back in with the automatics, we gon' set them to heaven. Wait. Hey. Woo! Oh, you feeling sturdy, baby. Shake it. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for it. And she throw it back for it. Yeah, she throw it back for it. Michael Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. I'm up in all the stores. When it rains, it pours. She like the way I heard. Michael Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. I'm up in all the stores. When it rains, it pours. She like the way I heard. When I walk in the spot, 30 on me. Buy the club, know that I'm paid. Get me lit, I can't f with these niggas, cause niggas is gay. All in my page, sucking all in my comments and screaming my name while I'm in the club, throwing them hundreds and fifties and ones. I smoke, they know I'm wildin'. If I'm on the island, I'm snatching the cell. Brody got locked, the night is bail. Until he free, I'm raising hell. Tell my shooters, call me FaceTime. For all the times we had to FaceTime. 50 nights, we doing state time. If you need the glizzy, you can take mine. Please don't come up to mine. You know I'm like that, I'll make a movie like TNT. Black 30 on me, as you really want it. I bet I air it like DMB. Now the blue island in my section, and I keep that 38 for the weapon. Remember when I came home for correction? All the bad in my direction. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for it. And she throw it back for it. Yeah, she throw it back for it. Michael Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. I'm up in all the stores. When it rains, it pours. She like the way I heard. Michael Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. I'm up in all the stores. When it rains, it pours. She like the way I heard.
Girls in my crib, zero Snapchat, zero Instagram posting. Fuck fuck up the vibe, my dick start falling like London Bridge. I don't care if I saw you in a magazine or if you're on TV, that one don't mean nothing to me. Don't need a shower, baby, I need a free. Lick it like ice cream, as if you mean to be disgusting. It's not enough. Chop my banana, one side I like, then no stopping up. Go shopping up, fuck that. Me on fire, Colorado. Breakfast on fire. Me on Danny Muja, come on. I saw a champagne in my mood. I get a girl from the ghetto. Got girls from uptown. That's the life of a city boy. Oh yeah, get Dama. Oh yeah, get Jello. Oh yeah, get oh yeah, get oh yeah, get oh yeah, get. Mama Sheba, come back on. Make me the start to the paragon. Start to the halagon. Cause you know say my people they calagon. Oguno my power. As they hating on us, make we manyamo. You know I be my father's son. Cause you know say I come from Potako. That's why I'm a jago. Start to the dance, I'm like I do. I go show you say bounce and the lago. Cause I be city boy. And as I day for the street, they give me joy. Lamborghini boy. Put them on Jesus and I'm not religious. Oh, I know. Me on fire, Colorado. Breakfast on fire. Me on Danny Muja, come on. I saw a champagne in my mood. I get a girl from the ghetto. Got girls from uptown. That's the life of a city boy. Oh yeah.